We got this from the BBC. Backlash after comedian at Trump rally calls Puerto Rico an island of garbage. Tony Hinchcliffe is a hilarious guy. Kill Tony's a massive show. It's wildly successful. And it's ridiculous that they're... You know what this is? Let me just put it this way. They can't go after Dave Chappelle in much the same way. He's too big. They try to go after Joe Rogan, but he's too big. Tony's relatively new. I don't want to act like he's just completely new, but Kill Tony is skyrocketing. It's not Dave Chappelle levels yet, but he did sell out Madison Square Garden, I think twice. So they're banking off of people not knowing who he is. What they're doing now is Tony Hinchcliffe opens this rally with comedy. He rags on everybody. It's what comedians do. But you now see Geraldo Rivera, you see The View. They're trying to make it seem like Donald Trump himself called Puerto Rico an island of garbage. But let me play for you what Tony actually said.
It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all right.
He got mixed laughing and jeers. A bunch of Republicans are actually mad about this too. They're saying that it's a mistake in the 11th hour to bring out an insult comic at the biggest political rally to close out your campaign by insulting everyone. It's gonna get weaponized.
I mean, I don't know. What
That's tough. He does the roasts. It strikes me as a roast comic. Is that the appropriate place for roast comic? I don't know. It's unconventional, right?
Do you think it was a mistake to have this guy at a political rally?
It's a tough call.
Tony, I mean, geez, it is. He's like the hardest core, not hardcore comedian.
I think this was Barron.
Barron was like, you got to get Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yep. Barron, so we've been saying for a long time, like, Trump needs to go on Kill Tony, but that's different. That's Trump ragging on people, too. That's him sitting around with a bunch of guys and everyone's making jokes. I think what happens is they're like, okay, well, we don't got time. It's the campaign. Barron probably said, Kill Tony is huge. Theo Von, Joe Rogan, you got to do these shows. And so they said, let's get Tony Hinchcliffe to do comedy at Madison Square Garden. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I heard this before the backlash. And I just laughed.
And after that, he's like, oh, okay, you're getting it now. I'm not used to following the national anthem.
Right.
And it's like, it's Tony, I'm doing his Tony. Maybe it was I don't know if you call it a mistake, but maybe it's like you don't have a roast insult comic right before the most heated political
I guess the argument is, if it costs Trump even a single vote, was it worth it?
And like Trump can't get any more famous, so like drawing eyeballs isn't.
But I don't think it hurt him or help him. I mean, remember in 2016 how saying, as Joe Rogan pointed out, saying all that crazy shit kind of actually helped him because it made him more authentic. So I don't think it helps him lose a vote or gain a vote. I think it keeps it neutral.
Both. I kind of feel like anybody who's planning on voting for Trump because World War III is about to start or because they can't afford grocery bills is not going to be swayed by an opening comic making an off-color joke.
Correct.
But more importantly, is the joke funny?
It's an insult. It's a roast joke. Are these roast things funny? I don't.
If it's funny, that means it has a seed of truth in it.
Well,
so
have you seen this guy roast Kim Kardashian? I'm not even going to say it on the air what he said, but have you seen what he said at these roasts? I'm not saying it.
I saw him do Tom Brady really hard.
You can play it. Yeah, you can play it.
I don't know that it's that necessarily so much that it has to have a seed of truth. I think it was a subversion of expectation, right? There's a lot going on, and you think he's talking about the Pacific garbage patch, and then he says Puerto Rico, and that's more like ribbing on your buddy. Yeah. Like if I say Ian's like a crazy hippie, it's like an exaggeration of what Ian actually is or whatever to whatever degree. Like if we mention Ian's doing DMT or whatever, Ian actually doesn't do DMT. He just looks like it.
I have done DMT.
So it's not that it's
glorious.
It's not that it's true to say like Ian snorts graphene.
It's not true.
It's just true that Ian likes it, and so we're making fun of him by hyper-exaggerating what it is that he does.
You don't want to breathe that stuff in, though.
No, you don't.
But the thing is, Puerto Rico wasn't in the room to defend himself. So
who is this Puerto Rican Trump supporter in the crowd who's like, that's it, I'm throwing down my MAGA hat, I'm done?
I don't know. They're still going to vote for Trump.
It's not a person that exists.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to play this clip of him roasting if it's a little obscene? This is the other roast. I just texted it to you.
What is it?
If liberals can't handle a little comedy from a comedian, this will surely melt their minds. And it's him at this roast. It's a minute and a half long. I watched it. it's a roast comedy, you know? I don't.
Well, maybe if we don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a little.
Considering we're a week out from the
Yeah,
election.
yeah. It's a
let's
little
save it for
raunchy.
Well, then we'll save it for the members only.
Yeah.
After you sing "Plush" by Stone Temple
good.
Pilots.
Oh, that sounds hot.
Sounds good.
I'm not kidding. He's gonna sing.
I'm gonna sing.
Yeah, we played it before the show. I got it on lock on the guitar.
You know the let me pull up the Poly Market actually. So Poly Market is the closest you can get to real time sentiment or predictions, and Trump's at 66% to win. I don't think anyone cares. You know, and look, no disrespect to Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't think anyone cares. They're desperately trying to make this an issue to care about. And what I'm seeing is like the Krasensteins, of course. They were like, "Oh, I can't believe he would make this joke," and I'm like, "Bro, are you kidding?" And then one of them responded, "What would I say if Kamala Harris had a comic who came out and said something shocking and off-putting? I don't know. How about this?"
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, "You better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight."
What's going to happen, George? What's going to happen? What happens if you leave your material right on the Mexican border?
Right.
What's the implication there, George?
Are you implying it's going to be stolen?
This is a Harris Waltz rally in Arizona. And yes, literally the joke is that Mexicans will steal your stuff. I don't care.
Oh, that was a good joke.
Cancel
Yeah, I know.
that white lady in the back who's laughing.
Oh, wait. Whoa, there's a white lady laughing?
Cancel
There's two
her.
of them.
Two. No, three.
You can hand it.
Cancel them now.
And look at she's covering her face because she knows she's going to get canceled for laughing. This is it. The View goes on this extended tirade where they're freaking out, and Sonny Hostin is like, "This Puerto Rican Donald Trump believes that Puerto Rico is beautiful," and it's like Trump didn't even say it. The Trump campaign said the joke does not represent their campaign or whatever, and I think you know what, man. Maybe the appropriate response from the Trump campaign would have been to just respond by saying, and I quote,
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, "You better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight."
That's just should have been the exact response with the quote and the video and been like, "Here you go." So they're acting like they're mad at Trump. It's just fake. It's all fake.
Yeah, it's all fake, and people want authenticity, and they're reading between the lines, and that's why Trump's doing so well, just like he did in 2016.
But you have Republicans coming out being like, "Oh, I can't believe that was right."
Because I think those Republicans crave to be liked by the powers that be. It's an opportunity to get your name in the New York Times, and it's an incentive for you to be, get a little dig in on your friends.
I imagine, too, these Republicans don't dance.
Definitely they don't dance.
States. You got to loosen up.
Why are you dancing? Why are you singing? Stick to politics.
You had a guy say that to you?
That's my voice for women and critics. I don't know.
Who are these people that hate your music career?
I think a lot of people don't like that I sing and dance. I did this musical Oklahoma, and people were just viciously attacked. Be serious. People really understand. Journalism is an art. Like, I don't think you could be a very good storyteller without having a kind of a rhythm and a sense of music and timing and cadence and all these things. So we need more dancing and singing, in my opinion, in politics. But you don't see that very often.
I think that's 100%. That's, God willing, what I've been doing on this show for 4 years, just lightening it up a little bit, because it's so easy to get angry and forget. Like, I think a lot of cultures have said that the canaries in the coal mine when it comes to the political violence in the political realm is the comedians. Like, if the comedians start to get demonized, you're in a world of hurt. You're in a real
We're there.
bad place.
We've been there for a long time.
You can see people trying to do it. They tried to demonize Rogan with the whole horse paste stuff, CNN, and he kind of just like water off a duck's back, kept moving forward because he's a strong man, and you need people to be able to weather this stuff and not like self-cancel and be like, "I'm sorry, I won't make jokes anymore." So this is kind of a moment for Tony where, and all the people around Tony are like, what are we going to do? I think he's insulated in a safe and strong enough position where he can keep doing what he does and not take it personally.
AOC was on a stream with Tim Waltz, and I'll just play a little bit of it for you because no one really wants to hear them talk for a long time. Let's try and get it to play.
We're getting there. No.
Did it freeze
Who
again?
is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing. I mean, I don't. He's a comedian.
What's disappointing about it?
probably
Everybody knows what Tony does. That's why he was invited to do comedy here. What is she disappointed about?
I don't
Yeah, but
follow
look, Trump,
this
this
crew
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico
but-
again. I saw it. This was when he went down after Helene, the horrific hurricane, people that Rico. It was absolutely horrific. Down there insulting people, throwing it. Look, I know that the folks who are on here today understand this. People in Puerto Rico are citizens. They pay taxes and they serve in the military at almost a higher rate than anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. And like the thing.
You see, here's the point I want to make by showing this. She knows she's in a difficult position to communicate to young people why you can't have fun and make jokes.
Yeah, there's an element of artifice in politics. And we turn the channel and watch a raunchy show, and it's acceptable. So that's the thing. There's a lack of equilibrium between these different platforms. That's why I don't think this stuff really matters. I think that people are they just can't pay for groceries, and
right.
It's all just
But I think beyond that, if you're 18 or 19 and you're not even necessarily in the workforce yet, maybe you're still in school, you're listening to Rogan and you're laughing. You're goofing off. These like young guys are going out and they're whacking each other in the balls and then laughing about it. They're taking their towels and then whipping each other and goofing. And she's going like, oh, it's really disappointing and so upsetting to hear this. But I feel like the reason she's not doing the heavy outrage like The View is doing is because she knows she's supposed to be Democrats communicating to younger people who are going to respond with, are you really mad about this, AOC?
Do you think she actually believes what she's saying?
No, absolutely not.
That's the problem. It's a lack of authenticity.
She has to mix, I'm a Democrat, so I have to be mad, with I'm also a young person and I'm supposed to be edgy. And that's why she's like, it's upsetting. Yeah.
Yeah, because she probably loves Tony. I get the vibe that she thinks he's hilarious as a comedian, and now she's like, oh, I gotta crap on this guy. It's Hinchcliffe.
He sold out Madison Square Garden twice, and she's gonna rag on him.
And these guys,
she's screwed in New York.
In this same interview, they're talking about how, did you hear there's an Ebola outbreak after Trump worked at McDonald's? Oh yeah, he got Ebola on his hands, like joking about offensive stuff. That's not true, and they were joking, and that's okay to do. Yeah, in the same interview with these two dudes, or stream, I guess.
This is on Twitch too, right?
I don't know.
AOC has a Twitch channel. Like, this is the world we live in.
And she's
That's
streaming with Tim Waltz. And then Tim Waltz said something about how she can run a mean pick six, and all of these football fans got really mad because they were like, that doesn't mean anything. But I don't know anything about football, so I can't fact check it.
Pick six?
I don't either.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is that not a basketball
The
term?
Mountain Dew next to him, the picture of him about to do the stream, it was just like, yuck.
Oh, that was so gross. What's he drinking that stuff for? And he's all
right.
I mean, the having the like gaming controller, okay, fine, I get it. This is a Twitch stream, but the Mountain Dew next to him, it was just like you jumped the shark with that one.
So thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.